It's time for Northwestern Outdoors Radio, the show focusing on fishing, hunting, outdoor recreation, destinations, and conservation in the region where you live and play. Northwestern Outdoors is brought to you by Mack's Lure Company, Sportsmans Warehouse, Loopold and Stevens, Chad's Coastwide Sports Fishing, Stehekin Valley Ranch, and Wallowa County. And now, let's see what's going on in the field and on the water with your host, John Kruse.
Welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here because we've got a great one for you this week. Now, I know a lot of you are sticking close to home at this time of year, and with the dicey conditions of the roads during the winter months and the frustration you find anymore traveling by air, I get it. I really do. However, I'd like to tempt you to try a few adventures well outside your doorstep this winter. You can find several of them at the state parks, owned and operated by the great state of Idaho. Jennifer Oklund with Idaho Parks and Recreation will tell you about the yurts and cabins they have available for winter stays, along with things you can do. And as you will hear in just a couple of minutes, there is plenty to do. We'll be talking about a big fish and how you can catch one on your extended max minute with Lance Merz, and then we are heading to the beach. Our destination is Seaside on the northern Oregon coast, and Ken Heman with the Seaside Visitors Bureau is very dialed in to the outdoor scene and has a number of suggestions about where to go dig clams, catch crabs, reel in fish, see whales, go hiking, surfing, and more. Now, if the weather is bad while you're there and you can't see the whales or other wildlife, don't worry, we've got an alternative. It's the Seaside Aquarium. It's right on the beach. It's been there since 1937, and between the great exhibits and the seals there, I can pretty well guarantee you're going to have a ball if you go. Keith Chandler, the longtime manager of the aquarium, will tell you more about it during this broadcast. Continuing on this week with Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we're going to do something a little different. As you know, it's time for all of those sportsman shows to come here in the Northwest, and there is one coming to the Tri-Cities in South Central Washington this week. It starts on January 19th, Friday, runs through Sunday the 21st, and with us here to tell you more about it is the man who puts it all together, Merle Shuyler. Merle, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John.
So, Merle, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about the Tri-City Sportsman Show that's taking place at the track in Pasco?
Well, the one thing is it's the first sportsman show in the Northwest. The Peel-Up Show is the following weekend, so we have the distinction of being the first one that people can go to here in the Northwest. So it can be a fun one just because it's the first one.
And I get that. I love going there and seeing the enthusiasm from all these people who are kind of cooped up at this time of year looking for something to do. And this is a great outlet for them. They get to chat with guides. They get to get great deals from some of the retailers you have there. And you've got a great lineup of seminars, whether it be on the fly tying side or the hardware fishing side or other activities like hunting and dog training too, where folks can really learn a lot for the season ahead.
Yeah, we got a little bit for everybody. It's, the seminars, as the program says, it's a place to learn. And I tried, after doing this show for 25 years, I've learned a lot of people in the different fields. And every year I try to pick out the best ones I can. And some of them are not available and some of them are. And the seminars are very popular at the show.
Well, one seminar that's very, very popular is your outdoor cooking camp featuring C-Dub Welch. You manage to get him back every year. That's not easy to do, but boy, he dishes up some great food and some great advice on how to cook it.
Yeah, C-Dub's been with us. I think this will be his 18th year, and it's pretty funny. When he first came, I told him I'd probably have him for 1 year, and then 18 years later, he's still here, but he cooks up a great dish and entertaining, and people learn stuff. I mean, it's an amazing demonstration that he does. Speaking
of attractions, you've got the Great Bear Show this year. What's that all about?
He's from Jefferson, Texas, and it's an informative demonstration, and he has a bear for viewing, a black bear. And then he just does different things with this bear and talks about the wildlife side of it, and people can learn a lot during this presentation.
You know, both kids and adults are going to love that. All sorts of other stuff for the kids, too. That's one of the hallmarks of your shows. What are kids going to find that they're going to enjoy at the Tri-City Show?
Well, what we've done the last couple of years, and it's worked out very well, is we target Sunday as being Kids Day. And for one thing, they can get in for $1 off their normal price all day on Sunday. There's free fishing all day. Normally you have to pay to fish at the kids' pond. On Sunday, it's free fishing. It can get a little crazy there, but if you want to save a little money and catch a fish, it's a great thing to do. C-Dub does some cooking for the kids. We have hourly door prizes all day long just for kids, and then at the end of the show, we have a grand door prize drawing for kids where they'll win a new fly rod or a new bow or a new air rifle, and that's all just for the kids.
All sorts of reasons to attend the 25th annual TriCity Sportsman Show. Again, January 19th, that's Friday, through January 21st, that's Sunday. Better still, you can go on Friday, buy your ticket, and get in the rest of the weekend for free. That's right, just buy your ticket once. It's good for the entire show. Find out more at SchuylerProductions.com or just make plans to attend the TriCity Sportsman Show coming up later this week. Thanks, Merle. We'll see you there.
Thank you, John. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
At Loophole Optics, they guarantee performance. Those other optics companies, they just warranty failure. That's why every Loophole product has a lifetime guarantee. Think of it as a warranty you'll never need to cash in on. Find out more at loophole.com.
You're back with Northwestern Outdoors Radio. I'm John Kruse. You may remember a few weeks ago we told you about wintertime activities at Oregon State Parks. Well, this week we're going to tell you about wintertime activities at Idaho State Parks. With us here to tell you more about this fun winter subject is Jennifer Oklund. She is the communications manager for Idaho State Parks and Recreation. Jennifer, welcome to the show and Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year to you. Thank you for having me.
So, Jennifer, you've got a whole bunch of parks in Idaho, and folks go to some of those in the winter. What are the popular ones, and what are people doing there?
Oh, this time of year is a beautiful time to visit Idaho State Parks. The winter landscape creates just excellent opportunities for snowshoeing and Nordic skiing in parks like Priest Lake State Park, which is our northernmost. And folks really enjoy the cabin opportunities within parks like Priest Lake and Farragut. This year, we added a new glamping-style yurt within a very popular park in southern Idaho, Castle Rock State Park, and that is just becoming one of the new popular assets within our state. You know, you can go and take advantage of these really posh living quarters within the park and the spectacular hiking opportunities that Castle Rock offers. Ponderosa State Park has some deluxe cabins that are right on the lakeside that are becoming quickly one of our most popular overnight opportunities as well. So Idaho State Parks have been working on diversifying what's available overnight for folks, and those are just some of the opportunities that people can take advantage of.
And the great thing about these accommodations that Jennifer just told you about is that even though they're probably fully booked for the summer, there's probably lots of opportunities to get into these during the winter months without too much notice. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Absolutely, especially for midweek stays. I think they're just now gaining in popularity. And so if you're looking for something fun to do this winter and you can take off a Tuesday through Thursday, it's likely that you'll find availability within some of these properties. And you can take advantage of our reservation system to see what that availability is actually.
So, Jennifer, a lot of state parks, they kind of shut down operations during the winter months in terms of activities, but not Idaho. As a matter of fact, today, for our Saturday listeners, and you Friday listeners will want to hear this too, a couple of things going on. There's a free winter access day at Heman State Park and a free ski day at Farragut State Park. Tell me more about what's going to be happening here.
Well, you know, this is actually the 32nd year we've been able to offer a free ski and snowshoe day within Idaho State Parks, and it typically happens on the first Saturday or first weekend within the new year. We open up the parks for free. Motor vehicle entry fees are all waived, and many of the parks who have groomed trails are offering free rentals, clinics, refreshments. Some are even doing lead treks with rangers where you can go have a full-day adventure with someone who knows the park like the back of their hand to reduce that intimidation factor and get you out enjoying these state parks. And maybe it's something you'd never thought of doing before. So these free ski days offer you an opportunity to get out, try the equipment without a cost, get in the park without an access fee, and just have a great time.
Oh, that sounds absolutely marvelous. Folks, again, you're listening to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. We're talking to Jennifer Oklund, the communications manager for Idaho State Parks and Recreation, about wintertime fun you can have in the state of Idaho at their state parks. The next thing I want to talk about is something that's happening every Thursday now through February at Castle Rocks State Park in southern Idaho. I understand you've got snowshoe walks, guided snowshoeing walks for women that are taking place there.
We do, and if you have not gone to that part of the state to experience Castle Rocks or City of Rock State Park, you really need to. That whole area of the state is such a geologic wonder, and some of the rock formations that are down there will absolutely leave you in awe, and it's something unique to experience year-round, because in the summer, these formations look differently than they do in the winter. And so this snowshoe adventure for women was put together, one, to provide a way for folks to get out and showcase the beauty of the park itself. But secondly, and I've mentioned this before in some of the interviews we've done, John, is that intimidation factor that often exists for women in the outdoors, whether it's just getting out by themselves or with their girlfriends, or whether it's equipment issue. Castle Rocks really stepped up to say, we want to provide an opportunity for women to get out here without the intimidation factor, to give them some equipment so that they can get out and experience this and try to turn them on to something that can be a lifelong winter sport for them.
I think it's absolutely fabulous. And something else that's fabulous are the classes you are offering throughout the winter at locations throughout Idaho, snowmobile-based avalanche awareness and companion rescue classes. Tell our listeners a little bit more about these offerings.
Well, snowmobiling is very, very popular in the West. In Idaho specifically, we have the largest number, actually, of groomed trails in the western United States for snowmobilers. It's also, avalanches are one of the biggest threats to life in the winter in the West. And so we as a state have decided to be proactive, and we're now offering classes specific to snowmobilers to help educate them on the threats of avalanches, what to look for, how to use equipment, what they need to carry, and how they can protect themselves in the event of an avalanche.
Well, I think it is a great service. And folks, if you want to find out when and where these classes are taking places, or more information about anything else that Jennifer and I just talked about, go to the Idaho State Parks website. You'll find it at parksandrecreation.idaho.gov. That's parksandrecreation.idaho.gov. And if you can't remember that, just Google Idaho State Parks and you'll get there in a hurry. Jennifer, again, Happy New Year, and thanks for making it a Happy New Year with all these programs for folks. We appreciate it here at Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy New Year to you, too.
One other thing about your state and national parks, Monday, the 15th, Martin Luther King Day, is a free day at your national parks, and if you're in Washington, in state parks there too. That's right, no entry fee is required to enter these places for the day, which is a great reason to go visit them, just in case you haven't purchased an annual pass to go to these parks on a regular basis. Speaking of these passes, though, let me encourage you to buy one of them, whether it be for a state park if your state charges a user fee, or for a Northwest Forest Service recreation pass, or maybe a pass to get into national parks or other federal lands. They really are a discount, and when you buy one, you never have to wait for a free day to enter, because every day is a good day to go to the park or the trailhead when you have a pass to do so. And better still, much of the money you pay for these passes goes right back towards maintaining these parks and trails you love to visit. It's still January, so you'll get a whole year's worth of use out of one of these user passes if you buy one now. And you'll be investing into the public lands you love.
Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, a nationwide group working to keep public lands in public hands. We've helped ban the use of drones for hunting. We help repair wildlife corridors in key riparian areas. We speak up against illegal ATV use. We collaborate with elected leaders to keep public lands in public hands. We're Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, with membership in all 50 states and Canada. Please join this dynamic conservation group. Check us out at backcountryhunters.org.
In the heart of the North Cascades Mountains of Washington State, at the head of Lake Chelan, lies a small community called Stehekin. Stehekin is a special place and not accessed by road. Part of the adventure is getting here by boat, helicopter, airplane, or by trail. Stehekin Valley Ranch, with delicious food, comfortable cabins, and a magnificent setting, is your place to stay while enjoying hiking, fishing, horseback riding, kayaking, bicycling, or just plain relaxing. StehekinValleyRanch.com, where your next adventure awaits.
At Loophole Optics, they guarantee performance. Those other optics companies, they just warranty failure. That's why every Loophole product has a lifetime guarantee. Think of it as a warranty you'll never need to cash in on. Find out more at loophole.com.
You're back with more of the great outdoors on Northwestern Outdoors Radio with John Kruse.
It's that time again. That's right. It's time for another Mack's Minute.
Fish on.
Brought to you every week from Mack's Lure Company. With us again, Lance Merz. Lance, I know you know about this. Jeff Witkowski, one of your pro guides. He's a guide up at Lake Chelan in north central Washington, and he caught a huge 27-pound, 40-inch lake trout out of Lake Chelan there. Man, that is one heck of a fish. What do you like to use when you're fishing Lake Chelan or other Mackinac lakes?
Well, it was a dandy fish, John, but one of the things that I like to use is called the Double Whammy Super Series. It's kind of a version of a wedding ring, but it's got 2 hooks on it. And the Super Series comes in because we use a size 1/0 and a size 2 hook. So the profile is a lot bigger, which gives you the ability to fish for these lake trout.
Number one, lake trout are bigger fish. Number two, you're going to find them a lot deeper. So this is definitely a downrigger game if you're going to go ahead and troll one of these double whammies, because there's not a whole lot of weight to the lure itself.
No, there's not. But it does come with 7 different setups and 2 different sizes. But you can use basically any type of bait with this, and it's going to give you that higher profile visibility in the water.
All right, so there you go. Whether you're fishing Flathead Lake in Montana, one of the Panhandle Lakes in Idaho, or Lake Chelan, which, like I said, gave up a huge 27-pounder to guide Jeff Witkowski. Mm-hmm. The Double Whammy Super may be the lure for you. Anything else you want to add before we go, Lance?
Well, just keep fishing. I think Jeff's got the potential to make the state record, which is 48 pounds caught out of Lake Chelan. So keep going, Jeff.
That's right, Jeff. We love you. You're a great guide. And if practice makes perfect, you're just about there. 2 huge events for hunters and anglers are coming to the Northwest. The first is the Washington Sportsman Show, January 24th to the 28th at the Fairgrounds in Puyallup. As big as this show is, the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show at Portland's Expo Center is even bigger, with even more outfitters, retailers, boat dealers, and free seminars galore. You won't want to miss these shows, January 24th to the 28th in Puyallup and February 7th to the 11th in Portland.
That's the sound you hear when a fish hits the new Sonic bait fish from Mack's Lure Company. This metal lure can be cast, trolled, or jigged and will catch just about anything that swims in the sea, the river, or the lake. The Sonic bait fish has a unique vibration and flutter that can be rigged in 7 different ways. With all sorts of eye-catching colors and weights available, you'll be reaching for the Sonic bait fish as your go-to lure. It's the Sonic bait fish. And that's another fish on. Only from Mack's Lure Company.
Sonic booms not included with the Sonic Baitfish Strike unless you are fishing for jet fighters.
Sportsman's Warehouse is America's premier outfitter and has the quality gear you need for hunting, fishing, camping, and more. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the right product so you get the most out of your time in the field or on the water. In addition to stocking superior clothing and outdoor equipment, we offer in-store events and seminars so you can enjoy a successful adventure. With over 70 stores located in the United States, it's easy to find a Sportsman's Warehouse store near you. Find out more at sportsmanswarehouse.com.
with Northwestern Outdoors Radio. I'm John Kruse. We're broadcasting from the beach today. That's right, Seaside, Oregon. And we're talking to Ken Heman. He works for the City of Seaside Visitors Bureau. They've got a new program that's going to help you really enjoy the northern Oregon coast out here. It's a how-to program on how to best enjoy this area outdoors. Ken, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.
So, Ken, tell me a little bit more about this How to Enjoy Seaside program.
In the last year here in Seaside, we've really pushed our new social media program. We're out on Facebook and Instagram more than ever before, and so far the results have been great. People are loving it. Each how-to video we've been posting has been receiving more and more views, more and more shares, and it's a great way to show people how to Seaside without having to get here, but maybe show you something that will attract you to Seaside. How to catch dinner in Seaside is one we recently did where we went out on the beach and showed people how to dig for razor clams. And then we did one how to prepare dinner in Seaside where we showed you how to clean those clams. And then we had one of the local chefs in town show us how to prepare them.
I love it.
This is one of our most popular videos so far.
Oh, I can understand why. Absolutely. So before we go any further, let's tell people what the title of this Facebook page is, because some of our listeners are tuning in from home, might even be in front of their computers right now.
Visit Seaside OR, and it'll have an orange kind of logo with our Visit Seaside in the picture there, all other icons and things like that. So make sure you get Visit Seaside OR for Facebook, or you can even link to it through our website, which is seasideor.com.
And if you didn't get that, we're going to give that to you again in just a couple of minutes. But let's talk about some of the things you can do outdoors here. Now, razor clamming, it being winter, that's obviously one. And Clatsop County is probably the best place to dig razor clams in the entire Northwest, isn't it?
95% of razor clams harvested come from the Clatsop Spit, which is what Clatsop Beach here from Seaside's Tillamook Head all the way up to the jetty outside of Astoria. This is the Clatsop Spit. So in this area alone, that's pretty much where all razor clams are coming from.
Well, I'm not seeing from where we're staying at the Shiloh, which is basically go downtown Seaside. When you get to the end of downtown Seaside at the roundabout, that's the Shiloh Inn in Seaside. Not a whole lot of people razor clamming out there, so they're doing it somewhere else. Where are the razor clamming beaches here in Clatsop County that attract a lot of folks?
One of the most popular and well-known areas is the Sunset Beach area. It's just expansive. We have wide beaches. It's very long, gives you a lot of room, so you don't have to get too crowded. A lot of times great bars will form just off the coast, off of between Delray State Park and Sunset. So that whole area out there is pretty good. But even out at the wreck of the Peter Iredale, which is off Fort Stevens State Park, that can be a really hot spot. But here in Seaside, if you just go out 12th Avenue, there's a parking lot, and you head out towards the river or even just in the 12th Avenue area, even down, and I probably shouldn't be telling this, some people might get upset, down around Avenue G and these kind of areas. And it can vary. It really does depend. A friend of mine who's the director of our aquarium here in town, Keith Chandler, goes out quite often. He went out one evening at Peter Iredale and said, instant. I mean, it was just boom, 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 had his limit. Went out the next night down in Sunset, not as easy, different size clams. Switched it up a couple weeks later, and actually it was the other way around now. So it just kind of varies on tides, which can be very effective on how you catch clams, especially rain and wind as well. They'll make a big difference in clamming. And I didn't realize wind would make such a big deal, but it does. If it's really windy, the clams aren't showing as well. So all these things you learn. One good place here we're lucky to have in town is Truckey's One Stop. They're kind of the go-to for clamming, crabbing, fishing. They've got the equipment. They've got the licenses. We're very lucky to have those guys in town. And they're good at, giving you tips and spots and that kind of stuff. So,
well, speaking of crabbing, as we were driving around town, you drive over several bridges here when you're in Seaside. And it's not uncommon off some of those bridges to see people crabbing off of here.
12th Avenue Bridge is the most popular spot. At any given time, there can be up to 40 different lines running down.
Wow.
If you're out kayaking in the river there, it's kind of neat because you got to dodge the ropes all hanging off the bridge. But good little crabs. What I used to do is drop my pot in the morning, leave it, come back after work, pick it up, and, got some dinner, And a lot of people do it regularly. A lot of them are visitors in town and have seen it And again, Truckie's One Stop, great place to go and pick up the equipment to do that. We're lucky enough to have that in town. So those people that do come and go, hey, you can crab off the bridge, there you go. They can go and do that. That's the hot spot. Raking has become a big one now. And with the estuary that we have, where the Neawanna and Nicanicum rivers meet the ocean, during certain tides, it's almost too easy to catch crab. If you're willing to get out there and get a little dirty and muddy and get into it, it depends on how you do it. Same with the clamming. Some people dig, some people use the guns, some people just barehand it. It depends on who you are.
All right. So think of Seaside as your shellfish heaven on earth, at least for right now. Clatsop County has a lot to offer. Let's turn our attention from crabs and razor clams to some other outdoors activities. You kind of hinted at one there, kayaking, bicycling too, and definitely just walking on the beach and hiking. All non-consumptive, but all really, really popular activities here.
Very, and the main one you said was the beach. Recreating on the beach, that's really the big thing about Seaside. When people go, well, what's there to do in Seaside? The beach. Big, giant, wonderful beach. If you're not into strolling on the beach, we're lucky enough that we have our 100-year-old 1.5-mile promenade, which people call the prom. Nice way to walk, stroll along the beach front without getting sand in your toes if you're not after that. But if you're at the beach, that's the point, right?
I was going to say, who doesn't like to walk on the beach?
But that gives you a great viewpoint to see our whole area and take a nice little stroll along the beach front. One of the things that we do offer around here, obviously with Tillamook Head, our close proximity to Oswald West State Park, Saddle Mountain. We've got great hiking around here, from Mellow, Ecola State Park, that kind of stuff, to more extreme like Saddle Mountain or Neoconi Mountain. We are part of the Pacific Coast Trail, and that was really popular this summer because the fires were affecting the Pacific Crest Trail. We're sending a lot of those hikers over to the Coast Trail to get down the coastways, and they were loving it. They had no idea because it starts on the beach, and you're on the beach the first 20-something miles of your hike, and then you got to get over Tillamook Head.
Well, that sounds absolutely fantastic. One other extreme thing brought this to my mind as soon as you said that. Surfing. People don't think of the Northern Oregon coast as a surf nirvana, but it really is. That's really, really popular right here at Seaside, isn't it?
Very, but it's kept kind of quiet. So people will learn, oh my gosh, there's so much surfing around here when they get here. They haven't heard about it before, and there's a reason for that, because they're surfing, but it's limited. And if it gets a little too crowded out there, you have our local surfers that, it's their territory. They don't want to share it, that kind of thing. So areas that we're lucky enough to have here with help from world-class stores like Clean Line and Seaside Surf, the Northwest Women's Surf Camp, we've got opportunities for you to learn to surf, to go surf on your own, to get the equipment for it. The Cove right here in town makes it super easy, especially if you're experienced. A little better to go out there during that. We get some of the best surfing right there in the Cove, as well as Indian Beach just over the hill in Cannon Beach at Ecola State Park. Those are two of the hottest spots. There's other secret spots around, and a little farther south, Short Sands at Oswald West State Park. That's one of the most popular spots as well. And they do a lot of lessons down there. You're definitely wearing a full body wetsuit when you surf here. You're not just running out there in your shorts and going for it. But there's, surfing, the bodyboarding's really fun as well. And then just watching it, parking at the Cove, watching the surfers for a while. Beautiful view. It's a more rocky beach down at that end. So if you're into exploring the beach and you want more than just sand, you got it all right there. You're watching surfing, you got the great beach, and a great view.
We are out of time, but let's give out that website and that Facebook page again so our listeners can find out more about Seaside and make plans to come here and experience everything you've talked about.
Our website, seasideor.com, one word, Seaside Or. That's got links to everything you can do in town, everything you're going to need to know about Seaside. You'll find a link to our Facebook page and Instagram on there. And we do have a YouTube channel. All those how-to videos I was talking about, they're available to watch. So get caught up on the things you can do in Seaside that I didn't get to mention on that page. But it's Visit Seaside OR on the Facebook and Visit Seaside OR on Instagram as well. Just got to point out the Visit Seaside OR so you don't get the wrong one.
Well, there you go, folks. That's your first stop to learn about Seaside, then make plans to come out here and experience it. Ken, thanks for sharing this with us today on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thanks, John. Have a good day.
Next up on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we continue to broadcast from Seaside, Oregon, but let's be honest, at this time of year, the weather might be such that you don't want to stay outside very long, but you still want to get a little piece of the outdoors. Well, I've got just the place for you. It's the Seaside Aquarium. It's been here on the beach since 1937. With us here to tell you more about it is longtime general manager Keith Chandler. Keith, thanks for taking the time today to join us on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Oh, no problem, no problem.
So, Keith, you've been here 38 years. Tell us a little bit about the history of this really special place on the beach in Seaside, Oregon.
Well, 38 years is a long time, but the aquarium's been here for 80 years, so I'm still kind of a newbie.
So the aquarium has a few things that people are coming to see. Why don't we just briefly tell people what they're going to find here?
Well, we have a large variety of local sea life, octopus, several different kinds of fish, anemones, and some touch tanks where kids of all ages can get hands-on experience of what they would find in an intertidal area. That's sea stars, urchins, cucumbers, anemones, things like that. A lot of fun for everybody to get that hands-on interaction with the critters.
This aquarium isn't huge, but I've got to tell you, as a nice little dog comes to join our interview, oh, what's your name?
Her name's Dobby.
Well, hello, Dobby. Yes, Dobby is joining us for the interview as well, folks. And again, getting back to what you have here, it's not a huge aquarium, but it's really well done. And you've got lots of different, I guess for lack of a better word, aquarium tanks that have different species of fish and shellfish and invertebrates, and you do a great job of really explaining what's found here in the Pacific Northwest. The touch tanks are great, but some of the really cool things you have here, the wolf eels, and that octopus is huge. Where did that octopus come from?
Well, we get most of our octopus from local fishermen. The crab fishermen, the octopus crawl into the crab pots to eat the crabs, and the crab fishermen catch them and keep them alive for us.
So in addition to that, the wolf eels, how do you get those, and how long do those live in captivity?
Well, wolf eels also they crawl into the crab pots too. We get a lot of our stuff from the local fishermen who, they've known about the aquarium forever and they find something cool out there, and so they'll keep them alive for us. The wolf eels can live quite some time. They can live 20, 30 years. Octopus lifespan is only like 3 years. They go 3 years, they spawn and die, kind of like a salmon. So octopus are just not very long-lived creatures, which was unfortunate. I wish it was different, but I don't have any say over that.
Well, I love the fact that you do have the local fishermen that are bringing in these specimens for you for the rest of us to enjoy. I think it's fantastic. Keith, is there anything else you want to tell us about what folks are going to experience inside the aquarium here?
Well, when you come inside the aquarium, it's you got to remember it's an older aquarium. It's 80 years old. It's what they call first generation, where they design aquariums like that. It was just tank after tank after tank after tank. Now, when they design aquariums, they put a few tanks and they put something in between them and kind of spread them out. So they have a lot more room to work with than we did. So we have opted to keep it the same as it was because it's been that way for so long. But take the time to look in those tanks. Some people blow through there and don't take the time to understand. There are a lot of things in those tanks. If you take the time to look for them, there's a lot to see.
Folks, you're really going to be very impressed by all the fish and the octopus and the wolf eels and the sharks that you're going to see here too. But let's talk about the real stars of the show. You've got a whole group of...
Our harbor seals they're our most popular attraction. They've all been born here. These are 4th and 5th generation captive-born animals. So these aren't animals that were found, hurt, or rescued or anything like that. These are animals that couldn't survive out of captivity. So yeah, they're just kind of like members of our family, really.
Well, what amazed me is each one has a name, and folks, you can basically spend $2 and feed them some fish. And each seal does something a little bit different. I mean, is this taught, or is this something they figure out, whether it's splashing water on you or nodding their head saying, throw me a fish, or slapping themselves on the side with a flipper? Is this taught behavior, or is this something they come up with themselves to try to distinguish themselves from the others to get some food?
Yeah, they come up with all their tricks on their own. It's the younger ones kind of watch the older ones and notice that, hey, they're doing something to get the public's attention, and often they copy the older ones' tricks until they come up with their own shtick.
Well, it's really fascinating how smart these animals are, because like you said, they do come up with their own shtick, their own routine, something that works for them to get some food. How many of these seals do you have?
Right now we have 11, and according to the regulations from the United States Department of Agriculture, we can have up to 14. So we like keeping the number around 11 or 12.
The other thing that really interests me, besides the fact you basically have a name and a bio for each animal, is how long they live in captivity.
Yeah, in the wild, the average lifespan is about 15 years. In captivity, it's about 20. We had one live 35, which was a female. I don't know if anybody remembers Clara. She died in 78, just like a year before I came to work here. But I remember her growing up in Seaside. I remember seeing her when I was a kid. Then we had one male live to 29 and a half, which is males don't live as long as the females. His name was Drexler. He was born the morning after the Blazers drafted Clyde Drexler, so I had to name him Drexler. But he's the oldest male that I know of, and he was around forever.
Well, folks, bottom line is this. If you find yourself on the North Coast and the weather's not cooperating with your outdoors adventure, go inside to see the outdoors, especially when it comes to the marine life, right here at the Seaside Aquarium. Check out all the aquarium tanks. Check out the touch tank, the octopus, the wolf eel, the fish, the sharks, all of that. And definitely spend a couple of bucks and feed the seals. They're really, really entertaining. What are the hours and the days that you're open here at the Seaside Aquarium?
We're open 9 to 5 every day in the winter and 9 to 7 every day in the summer. There are a few exceptions, like the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving, or if we're involved in a larger maintenance project, and we will have that on our website if we're going to be closed.
And the website is?
SeasideAquarium.com.
That's SeasideAquarium.com, SeasideAquarium.com. Check it out. Make plans to come here. I guarantee, no matter what your age, you're going to have a great time when you do. Keith, thanks for sharing this with us today on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Oh, you're most welcome.
You demand quality performance from your binoculars, whether you use them in the field, on the water, or at a stadium. But you don't want to spend a fortune. That's where the BX McKenzie binoculars from Leupold come in. These armored, waterproof binoculars are both comfortable and dependable. Look for your McKenzie binoculars at quality sporting goods retailers near you, to include your Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, or Northwest Bi-Mart stores. BX McKenzie, bringing your world into sharper focus, only from Leupold.
Whether you're after trout, steelhead, or salmon, it's time for the annual Linwood Fly Fishing Show, February 17th and 18th in the Linwood Convention Center. Fly fishing isn't part of the show, it is the show. And parking is free. See Gary Borger, Brian O'Keefe, Skip Morris, and dozens of others cast and tie flies. See all the 2018 rods, reels, and tackle in one place, plus fly fishing demonstrations from around the world. If you like fly fishing, you'll love the Fly Fishing Show.
Sportsman Show season is kicking off in Washington State with the TriCity Sportsman Show. It's taking place January 19th through the 21st at the track in Pasco. In addition to all the exhibitors that are going to be there, there's going to be free seminars, an outdoor cooking camp, boats, indoor 3D archery shoot, and hourly door prizes. Find out more at SchuylerProductions.com for the TriCity Sportsman Show, January 19th through the 21st in Pasco.
Sportsmans Warehouse is America's premier outfitter and has the quality gear you need for hunting, fishing, camping, and more. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff will help you find the right products so you get the most out of your time in the field or on the water. In addition to stocking superior clothing and outdoor equipment, we offer in-store events and seminars so you can enjoy a successful adventure. With over 70 stores located in the United States, it's easy to find a Sportsmans Warehouse store near you. Find out more at sportsmanswarehouse.com.
We've got time for one more shot of Northwestern Outdoors Radio with John Kruse.
I hope you enjoyed our visit to Seaside. As you can tell, this is a great place, whether it be the winter, the summer. Take your family to. Lots to do in town and bring your appetite. Lots of great restaurants. If you want some wonderful seafood, try Duger's. And if you're looking for a great breakfast, you can't go wrong at the Pig and Pancake. Seaside, Oregon. It's a great place to visit. And now, let's talk about some other places to visit, and those would be sportsman shows coming up this month and next month too. We'll start off this weekend in Boise, where the Western Idaho Fly Fishing Expo is taking place Friday and Saturday. Next week, we already told you about the TriCity Sportsman Show earlier this broadcast when we talked to Merle Shuyler. Starts on Friday the 19th, goes through the 21st at the track in Pasco. In Billings, they've got a sportsman show too. It's the Great Rocky Show. That'll be taking place Friday the 19th through Sunday the 21st. And then I hope you will come and see us at the Washington Sportsman Show. It's a big show at the State Fair Expo Center in Puyallup. The dates, Wednesday, January 25th through Sunday, January 28th. And if you stop by our booth, be sure to sign up for the free Mack Attack newsletter, because when you do, you're entered for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate we're giving away from Mack's Lure Company. After the Puyallup show is a sportsman show in Eugene at the Lane County Convention Center, and then February 7th through the 11th, the Northwest Sportsman Show at the Expo Center in Portland. This is a huge show. As a matter of fact, it's one of the biggest in the entire nation. We're going to be there too. Be sure to drop by and say hello. We'd love to say hi to all our listeners tuning into our show on KUIK AM 1360 out of Hillsboro and KPNW AM 1120 out of Eugene. Last but not least, the Fly Fishing Show is taking place at the Linwood Convention Center February 17th and 18th with a whole bunch of fly fishing celebrities. Stay tuned. We'll be telling you about all sorts of other sportsman shows taking place in the greater Northwest in the weeks ahead. And now, it's time for your trivia question of the week. I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things to do is to go crappie fishing. These panfish are found in ponds and reservoirs all over the United States and the Northwest. And if you can get into a school, you can get into some very fast fishing. Often caught on a jig or a worm under a bobber, crappie are great sport for kids and for adults too. Here's your question. There are two primary species of crappie found in the Northwest, and they are named after two very opposite colors on the spectrum. Do you know the colorful names of our common crappie? If you do, go to our Facebook page. You'll find it at Northwestern Outdoors Radio. Like the page, look for our post, and give us your answer there. Or if you prefer, go to our website at northwesternoutdoors.com. Go to the Contact Us page and let us know the two species of crappie you're most likely to run into here in the Northwest and in the United States. Again, they are named after two colors. One lucky person who guesses right is going to win the $25 gift card we give away every week from Sportsmans Warehouse, which will come in handy for the clearance sale they're having at quite a few of their stores around the nation this month. While you're on the web, if you missed part of our show, you can catch it on YouTube. Our channel is Northwestern Outdoors, that's one word, or at Podbean. Just go to podbean.com. You can download the app, hear us on the go, and just subscribe to America Outdoors Radio. Our New Year's resolution is to upload entire shows for you whenever we can on both platforms. So if you miss part of the show, you can hear it online anytime you want. We've got to go, but I hope to see some of you at the Tri-City Show when I visit there next weekend, and definitely hope, again, that you'll drop by my booth and say hello in Puyallup at the Washington Sportsman Show. Until next time, take care, God bless, and make it a point to spend some time outdoors.